large is the congregation here?
About 500.
In Prince William, Fairfax, both?
Yes. We used to be in Fairfax. At the industrial area until we purchased this particular building. Then we moved from Fairfax to this particular area. Fairfax has been very good to the ministry because it's centralized compared to people come from Maryland. Springfield was closer. Since we moved here, now you have to lose some of the congregation because it's not everybody that was ready to travel far to come to this place to enjoy, right? Owning is not the same like renting. So we are happy that we own this. And it's also, Papa come closer, it also gives us a chance to always, anytime you want to do anything, you are free to do it without any particular restriction. Because we own it.
So I'm sorry. One of the things that Bishop wanted to talk about while he was live streaming, and then we're going to go offline so we can have a personal conversation, is the importance of community relationships between law enforcement
and before you even go there, I want to congratulate the service also for arresting the serial killer, because when we live in a community and people do that, it makes
work throughout the entire region. And we think there's more work to do to figure out this man.
But to have them, I think we should commend the police force, because then we were afraid, women were afraid, children were afraid, and everybody was scared. So when we heard that the force has brought such person out, then we are at peace. When evil men come into society, the society never finds peace. And that's one of the reasons why I stand by the police for the great work you do. Because without your particular services, the country will not be as it is. Never. And usually your great work you do, people take it for granted. People feel like it's just your job. But it's not just a job to sacrifice your life for another individual. It's not just a job when there's a possibility of you maintaining peace and somebody can threaten your life for any reason. So I want to take this opportunity and commend you and thank you for all the great work you do in our communities to give us the peace we deserve. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Bishop. We both appreciate that. And we'll pass that along when we get back to headquarters. But you know, all the detectives on the police department work for Deputy Chief Blvd, so they don't get to go home. Their cases stay with them, even when they are home, because they're always thinking about it.
Wow.
And this particular case, I think will continue to get a lot of local and national attention because he's probably done more.
Wow.
And but you hit the nail right on the head. He's an evil man.
Yeah.
And hurt a lot of people and their families.
Wow.
But thank you.
Thank you also. Maybe you're gonna say something.
And Dean got promoted since last time because he was a major, so now he's a deputy to the chief.
Dean,
So he's now
congratulations.
colonel.
Congratulations. Let me give you a handshake. Congratulations. I pray that we can be able to do a lot of things together to help the community advance the police work you do.
Yeah.
Everybody must understand that without your work, the peace we enjoy, the businesses that people have, we can never have them. You know, the opportunity to call the police and have them rush down to save life is such a great thing. And everybody in the community must support and stand by the police. So it's a good thing that we're here. It's a very great thing that we're looking into the future to do more for the police service and also for the community.
We thank you for that support.
And I told Dean also that when we established Communities of Trust 7 years ago, you were the deputy or the co-chair of Communities of Trust for years.
Wow.
So he has a love for the community, but he was able to help us get off the ground as to where we are now And even though he's not a co-chair, you know, I still keep him involved in everything that we do. So have to keep him up to speed on what we're doing because it could impact other areas. And also I use him as a mentor and as advisor to me. It's some of the things that we can do. So of course, when the chief made him one of his deputies, I was real happy with that because I knew that Communities of Trust would still have all the support that we need. So one of the things I was thinking, now Chief, I was going to mention to you, one of the things that Bishop and I had talked about during this session is the possibility, sorry about that, the possibility of, you know, you discussing the importance of community and police relationships and keeping the community involved.
Can't do enough. And one thing, and I haven't shared it yet with Shirley Ginwright, is we have 8 police district stations, and they all have community outreach. But at headquarters, where we have our offices, we don't have someone paying full-time attention to the community. So I actually just created and sent Daryl Nichols over to, what did we end up calling it?
Community and equity.
Community outreach and equity. So we used to just have at police headquarters a mid-level person paying attention to community leaders and members, but we need a more full-time focus on the community. So it'll be, Daryl will be the first commander, and it'll be a full-time job. And you know, some other opportunities that we talked about will fall under his shop. But it's overdue. We just can't, the district stations do a good job, but headquarters has to do a better job.
And Major Nichols will report directly to the chief of police. That's how important.
That's right.
It's very few people that have that relationship for a direct report. And as a chief, as you can imagine, for the largest police department, local police department in Virginia, he has to be very mindful of his direct reports, and that's how important it was for him.
Right. And that is important.
Too many headaches sometimes.
Goes with the job, boss.
Yeah, that is very important.
So Daryl will be the first one to do it. And you know, we should have someone whose office is right down the hall from both of us. If we have a community outreach need, we shouldn't have to scramble and go to the districts. We should just be able to walk right down the hall and say, who can I speak to in this community?
Right,
great.
exactly.
That's great.
And he would have been here, but there was another thing on his schedule.
Okay, yeah, that's great.
So in Maryland, where's the Ghana population? Is it
I think the biggest is Silver Spring.
Silver Spring?
Yeah.
Even though they are all scattered all over the
New
place.
Hampshire Avenue corridor,
Usually,
Prince George's, Montgomery border,
That's it. That's
yeah,
it. All of them.
Hyattsville.
If we have to go and write them, we'll go there. We'll find all of them.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know the area. So I spent my career, Prince George's County is my alma mater police department.
Wow.
So, So a very, very diverse community,
That's right.
particularly in the northwest part of the county. A lot of African populations.
That's true.
So
That's very true.
But we're talking about community engagement though, and the partnerships we have in the community. One of the things we discussed last month, we have one of our Communities of Trust partners, Learners Corporation, brought to us an issue that they were having, sort of like an uptick in crime in one of their areas. So they brought it to the committee, we discussed it, and a lot of our police officers cannot afford to live in Fairfax County. Fairfax is expensive.
Right.
So part of our discussion was, how can we do something to sort of assist in decreasing the crime, but at the same time helping our officers out? So one of the things that they're doing now is they're going to be offering reduced rent to some of our officers that want to live in those complexes, which is going to help us a lot, because we have a lot those recruits that we're getting, you know, their salaries are lower, so they can't afford to live in Fairfax County. So now we have another
The
opportunity.
military gets a lot of help, so it's good that we can also fight for the police in the same way. Because without, I appreciate the work the military do, but I feel we're all working hand in hand with law enforcement, because for all the great work they do, the same sacrifices is also what the police do. So what you're saying is a very good initiative. I think all of us must join up to work with such companies. That when a person is a police officer and they want to use their property, they can offer assistance and help them to make the work easy. Officer, I was saying all this because I feel that the work of the police service needs to be held in high esteem. Because without that, the community would never be the same. Last 2 weeks ago, on a particular Sunday, 2 men almost started a fight here. One just, I don't know whether he was going to pull a gun or something, but the fact that there was the thought of a police coming, the guy just took off. And had it not been for that, the guy was ready to just kill the other person. So the community must stand together with the police service and continue to encourage you and also continue to appreciate you for all the things you do for the common people that you don't know from anywhere, but you go out of your way to help them.
Well, thank you, Bishop. And, you know, what Shirley said about police officers and living where you work. My first 5 years as a police officer, I lived in, we called them rent deals back then. But, you know, we had take-home cars, and in exchange for our marked car presence in an apartment community, I got to live in an apartment complex for the first 5 years. I was a police officer at a very, very good rate.
Wow.
So it works.
Right.
It does work, but somebody like Lerner has to take the first initiative and say it's okay.
And they've approved that.
That's
So,
great.
you know, so we're ready to move out with that. We're working on procedures, so everybody won't have to run to learners and say, "Oh, I want this apartment."
Yeah,
So
and
we're
Tyson's. Yeah,
right.
no.
Yeah. So we just have they'll have one point of contact within the department. So I'll talk to Daryl about that. How we're gonna put that together.
That'd be a big victory.
Oh,
Because I think only about 21%, 23%
That's right.
of the department lives in Fairfax.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
And so we figure we could use that also as a recruitment incentive.
yeah. Oh yeah.
You
The
know.
majority live in Pickering County, interestingly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we can bring them back to Fairfax.
Is that the majority of Prince William?
The last statistics I read.
So we bring them back to Fairfax. And see,
I
we
keep
also
waiting
have.
for that table to light on fire.
Like a fire
The
pit.
fire pit. Yeah.
He's gonna order one for his
Propane.
office now.
Yeah.
That you just gave me work to do. That's what
No,
I'm
I light a candle in my office, I get in trouble.
That's
Wow.
true.
Wow.
Yeah, especially if the alarm goes off.
Yeah.
Renting versus owning, chief.
Yeah. So, and see, the other thing we're doing too, which we have a satellite office that we're going to be putting in at Learners and some of the other apartment complexes, where our police officers during the day or in the evening, when they're riding by, they can just go in, have a place where they can relax, get coffee, or maybe eat their lunch or something like that, or do their paperwork. And we don't have those right now, so we're going to be open. First one's on the 24th. That's on your calendar.
Yeah, I got a pinpoint.
In Mason District. Then we're going over to Reston and put one there, and then we're coming back over to South County in Creekside and put one there. So what we're looking at, the areas that has the highest uptick of crime, and then those are the areas we want to focus on. How do we get this back manageable, to say the least?
Well, I'm, you know, it's an honor to be here.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to March
Okay.
because it'll be warmer.
Yes, yes,
And it'll be a great event. And I'm working with Commissioner Chuck Ramsey. So he thought he was going to move back here after he retired, but one of his, I think his son and a grandson live in Philadelphia. So he literally babysits a couple days a week.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he likes to be up there to babysit.
That's
So,
good.
But no, we look forward to it.
Thank you.
And the police officers are bashful, and they'll say, "Oh, we don't need to be recognized," but they do like it. They do like to be recognized.
Yeah.
It is necessary
Yes, sir.
that every human institution, when we do good, because people cannot just talk about the wrongs and the bad side of one person or two people.
Right.
But the society and the community at large must hear the good things that you guys do.
Yes, sir.
We cannot keep quiet. If we keep quiet, then we are allowing the people that have wrong motives about the police to always have a say.
Right.
But for the good work you do, we must gather together to shout it loud that without you, the peace we enjoy to live our life and to shop and to go about church and to have families, we will never have it same. Like for example, is this serial killer that was out there. You could imagine without all of you coming together to spend all these hours to arrest this individual. By now he would have, even today he might have committed another crime. And that's somebody's mother, somebody's wife, somebody's daughter. So the work you do, we have to gather together and celebrate. One thing I'm begging is that we can help Ghana like you're trying to do for Nigeria with the Inspector General of Police and maybe even the President if necessary. We can.
So the Inspector General is in charge of all the police.
All the police.
And he gets appointed by the president.
He gets appointed by the president.
And he stays in there as long as that president is in there?
As long as the president is content with them.
Okay. I know how that goes.
Just like the United States, sir.
I know how that goes.
But the one they have now is, he's good. I see a lot of discipline and respect
Good.
To the law, because normally Africans we play with the law, but this particular one we have,
He's good.
if it's wrong, he says it's wrong,
Right.
and he doesn't play with politics, because if it's a police force is playing with politics, then the system is corrupted.
Same here.
Can't do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So he's doing a good job, and I felt that observing and watching him, if we can bring him online to, just like you're trying to help Nigeria, to help a lot of people.
Well, if he's in town for a couple of days, we're more than happy to get him out in the street.
Yes.
Or come to see police headquarters, or come see our, anything he wants to see.
Yeah.
Anything we have, he can see it.
Right.
I know they are watching, and they'll be very glad that you have given that opportunity.
Whatever he wants, we'll make it happen. So that's New York. I know that.
Yeah.
That's New York. I'm still trying. The one outside is going to drive me crazy.
I believe maybe that might be California somewhere.
Yeah.
The other one.
Is it?
So
It's either got to be L.A. or San Francisco. That's it.
It's all California, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it's New York.
You think
This
it's
one,
New
the
York?
one downstairs.
That's
the one
definitely
downstairs.
Oh,
New York.
you think the one downstairs is New York too?
Why do you feel so?
Because the waterfront and the buildings look like New York. I mean, not that one up there.
Different angle.
Yeah.
But have you been up there to see Hudson Yards in West New York?
No.
So Hudson Yards it's going to be the first smart, what they call a smart city, but it's a city within a city.
Wow.
So everything, you been up to Hudson Yards yet?
I don't think so.
It's really, Bill Bratton, the former NYPD commissioner, he's doing a lot of work with Hudson Yards. It's in the city of New York. It's on the west side, but it's a city within a city, and it has the stairs to nowhere. Have you seen that? If you Google the stairs to nowhere, it's an art piece in the middle of Hudson Yards, and it's several stairways.
Really?
That people can climb, and they don't go anywhere. It's called the stairs to nowhere.
They can't jump off.
That's what they're worried about. So, you can't think of everything.
There's a lot of crazy people out there.
We can't build one of their
There's a lot of crazy people out there.
Yeah.
My wife is bothering me. He goes and jump. My husband is not good. He go up and jump.
One other thing I want to bring up, mention that Bishop Boateng and his church has been very generous in addition to doing the Faithful Servants Awards and making donations to Communities of Trust where we can fund some of the things that we do with the kids during the summer, our public safety events. They make a contribution, so I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Because that helps us out a lot.
Yeah.
Because before Shirley Jenwright was paying for it. So now I get a little contribution. And it wasn't tax deductible.
Every good idea, every good event, there's always, it requires resources, and nothing happens for free.
Yeah. but they've been very generous, so we appreciate
And
that.
we look forward to getting you to police headquarters too, because I think
I'll be very glad if I know that.
anytime,
Yeah.
you know, even before March, if you want to come
Yeah,
before
okay.
March.
Mommy, you got to work that up.
Yeah.
I'll come.
You know what I'll do? We'll order lunch, and we'll take a tour.
That's
and,
great. That'll be great.
Yeah, you like it.
We give it Pam, I give it Pam.
Yeah,
So we can send
we can do that before the awards too.
I'll be very glad.
Bring your team.
Okay.
Yeah, bring your team. Yep.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Well, thank you, Bishop.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you for having us.
I'm so glad.
Good to get out of the office.
I'm so glad to meet you.
Dean told me it was going to take an hour to get here. It only took a half an hour.
That- well,
Traffic wasn't bad.
somebody has lights and siren. I'm
But
just
did you-
kidding. He was
but did
not.
you see the traffic?
Just
Going
flash
back
my
north?
light.
I was afraid
Is it bad?
there's a truck fire on 95, so my advice to the chief improperly was he might be stuck in traffic, but he knows his way around.
He told me to
Virginia.
go the wrong way.
So you might wanna take a back road going back.
That's what I. Yeah.
Everything, it's, you know, when you look at how small the area is, it's not small. It's big, but it takes forever to get in.
Yeah.
I know.
It could take 45 minutes on one side of the county during
So to
traffic.
go from headquarters to Mount Vernon
Right?
is, that's like half a day.
Yeah, I know. I experienced that Saturday when.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seen.
Yeah.
We have a beautiful place,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
and I'm looking forward to doing this more and bringing you out to police
I'll
headquarters.
be so glad.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for your mom to make the date.
We've got dogs running all around the building too. We have dogs like
do?
yeah, they're emotional support dogs.
So,
Wow. That's
And we have one dog that smells cell phones. So for missing persons and for bad guys who run from the police, so they all have a cell phone.
Yeah.
And Dean will probably know the right word for it, but there are traces of a certain liquid inside every cell phone,
really.
and the dog is trained to smell. What's it called? It's
They said not to say because it was confidential.
so it's confidential. I don't even know.
That was my sharp answer for not knowing the answer.
But we have a dog who smells.
Keenan's so smart.
He smell. So if there's a missing person, so he's smelling to see where the cell phone is.
Really.
It's unbelievable.
It's like the glue. I think it was the glue they use in the
It's-
microchip.
okay.
Yep.
But it's an amazing. We're the only police department, at least on the East Coast, that has one of these dogs.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
and when you come out, we'll hide your cell phone.
Yeah.
And I bet you he
Yeah.
finds it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just take all the glue out and we won't go to find it.
That's the first time I've heard. I never knew a dog could smell a cell phone.
Smells.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's it's a very well-respected professional police department. So we have anything you can imagine that American law enforcement needs. Fairfax has it.
And that is why I have a lot of confidence in the Fairfax police. Because businesses in the area thrive very well because of the work you do. And looking at the society in America at large, Fairfax area has a lot of peace and a lot of, safety reports because of all the hard work that you do. And that is why most rich people want to live in Fairfax because it's safe.
Supreme Court lives here. Cabinet secretaries live here.
It's a long list.
Everybody live there but police. Because they can't afford it. So
We're gonna get them to
That's
me.
why
I need
that's
one.
why
I
we have
need a
to-
rent deal. I need one of those.
Chief Davis
Hey.
was there.
All right?
And you know they probably give you one for free.
Then I'll go to jail. And I have a free rent deal.
No, it's, in fact, I talked to Learner's rep before I came down here, and they have another deal that they're working on for us.
Yeah. It's
So we're gonna
a
be-
no-brainer. It's a great idea.
Yeah. The
of
same for
course,
teachers
they-
too. They have the program for teachers too.
The fire department say, hey, look, can we get in on this deal?
Well, so many firefighters, because of their schedule, a lot of them live out of the state.
That's true.
Really?
Because they work one day on, and they have 3 days off, or 1 and 2.
Yeah, you gotta.
But more of them live farther away than police officers.
There was some other meeting we were in, and someone said they had like a 3-4 day break.
Yeah.
Maybe it was Canada or something. You go away for 3 days. There was a doctor that was briefing us.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
So before March, we'll have lunch at police
I'll be
headquarters?
so
Yes.
glad.
Okay,
I'll be so glad to come with my team.
that'd be great. Yeah, bring the whole team.
Yes.
Everybody get a tour. We have a museum there that's really, really the best I've ever seen.
Wow.
The only other museum that I thought came close to it got flooded in New York. NYPD had a museum
Oh, that's right.
in South Manhattan, and what was it? What was the storm in '05? That ruined it. And then I actually built one in Baltimore, a museum.
Oh, great.
So, not personally, but
Yeah, you did it. You still did it.
yeah. But it's important to know the history.
Right.
And the community
The history.
and the force.
For, so you can repeat good things and you can avoid bad things in history.
Learn from him. The scary part about building a museum is when you walk around it and you see things that you used to use.
About the radios.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like I remember that old radio.
You're old. Well, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And then after, can I get a picture of everyone, please?
I think the flag gives us a very good vibe.
Or we could just stand right here. And then, can I have you in the picture too?